Hey, what's going on? Welcome. In this video, I'm gonna give an update on what's going on with me at my wonderful job as a UPS feeder driver. Give an update on everything that's been going on the last couple weeks because I don't think I did a weekly update last week. So this video is going to be, I believe, 2 weeks update. But before I get into that video, I want to thank everybody that's watched my video so far. I appreciate it. I actually had a video that did really well. I think it's probably about 2 videos back. So I just want to tell you guys thank you. I really truly appreciate everybody watching the videos. You know, I'm still new to this. I'm still figuring it out, so I appreciate it. All right, so let's get into what has been going on with me these last couple weeks here. So, around April 16th-ish, around April 16th-ish, I received a recall letter. And the purpose of the recall letter was to recall me back to work. Now, if you've been following my journey so far, you may be confused. You'll say, wait a second, I know you got laid off. You didn't work a week, but you've been working, ever since then. That's over a month ago. And you would be correct. You are 100% correct. But I'm working because I was able to bump somebody. So that just means I have enough seniority to pretty much take someone else's job. Someone that has lower seniority than me, I was able to bump and take their job. So that's why I've been able to work the last couple of weeks. So I got recalled. So I got recalled back to my warehouse. Now, when I received the letter, it was slightly confusing because once again, if you've been following me, the warehouse that I am from cut more than half the drivers. So when they said I was recalled, my question was, am I being recalled to, to my old warehouse, or what warehouse am I being recalled to? Now, we did bid on going to a new warehouse since, they cut so many drivers out of the old warehouse. We did do a bid for that. But I was laid off before the bid was finalized, so, whatever. So anyway, so I was recalled not back to my old warehouse. I was recalled to the new warehouse that I'm gonna be working at. And for the recalls, there has to be a 2-week notice. So I received the letter in the mail on about the 16th. And I was supposed to start at my new permanent warehouse today, actually. Today was supposed to be my first day at the new warehouse that I'm going to be working at permanent. So, how did I feel about being sent to another warehouse? I was kind of indifferent. I had started getting used to being here. At first I did not like being here at all, but that was just because of overall change. As humans, we don't like change. I just didn't like change. I don't like being a yard dog and shifting every day, all day. But I got used to it, and it's okay. It's a job. I'm grateful to have a job. That's one thing I have to be grateful for. I'm grateful to still have a job. But I got used to it. And I did not want to go to another warehouse and try to figure that warehouse out. I finally figured this one out. At the end of the day, they're going to have me shift every day, no matter what job or start time I bid on. If I bid on a start time and I win the bid, because I'm at the bottom of the list here, literally. But if I win the bid and it's supposed to be on the street, they're not going to send me on the street. They're going to put me in the yard. And I just got used to that, and I got accustomed to that. So I did not really want to go to another warehouse and learn that warehouse, but it is what it is. So I mentally prepared myself, and I was ready to go. Last week, they give me a call and they say, hey, you're supposed to start at this other warehouse, which the other warehouse is in downtown Chicago. So I was supposed to go, I got recalled to go to downtown Chicago, my new permanent warehouse. They said that's where you're going to be going on Monday, but they called me last week to say I will not be starting there on Monday, which is today. I have to wait until the following week. And I was confused because I actually drove to that warehouse and bid it on a job, instead of them just giving me a job. I drove there and bid it on a job. I hope you guys can hear me. It's really loud. So I saw my name on the bid sheet and everything. Come to find out, the company was concerned about the 2-week recall notice. So in the contract, the company has to give a 2-week recall notice to anyone they're recalling. And like I said, I received that letter on the 16th or the 17th, and today's the 28th, so that's not 2 weeks. So they pushed it back, that we made a mistake, so we pushed it back a week. So a couple things with that. In my head, I'm thinking, okay, well, do you need to send me another letter with the proper date on it? Because everything needs to be documented, right? But I didn't take it that far. So now, I guess you could say upset because I mentally prepared myself to go to this warehouse, and now I'm not going. I have to be here another week. But it is what it is. We got to be humble. We have to be thankful we still have a job and all of those things. So, all right, cool, whatever. But here's the problem, though. They informed me that I'm going to still be here this week. And when they told me that, the bid sheet for the jobs for this week was already done, which I did not have the opportunity to bid on anything. Now, I am at the bottom of the list when it comes down to bidding anyway, so I would have got whatever was left regardlessly. But still, I want to bid, make me feel like everything is being followed. But I didn't get a chance to bid, so they just gave me a route or gave me a start time. Luckily, the start time that they gave me is really not too much different than what I've been doing the last, 3 or 4 weeks. So that worked out okay. So that happened one day. The following day, I receive a notice from the union notifying us saying the upcoming week, the company decided instead of laying off drivers, they are going to schedule drivers to only work 2 days. So you work 2 days and they're going to schedule you off 3 days, which is against the contract, by the way. But that's the decision that they made. The rumor is instead of laying off 15 drivers, it's so confusing. So the rumor is they were planning to lay off 15 drivers and recall 23 drivers. So they're going to lay off 15 drivers, but they're recalling 23. Makes absolutely no sense. But instead of doing that, they're just going to schedule drivers to work 2 days and have 3 days off. Like, excuse me, that makes absolutely no sense. Now, we do have vacations coming up. So if you need 8 more drivers, why not just recall 8 drivers? Why do you need to lay off 15 more, but recall 23? Like, it doesn't make any sense. But regardless. So this week, I'm only scheduled to work 2 days, and I'm scheduled to be off 3 days. I have to adjust this mirror over here. So that's against the company policy, or the contract between the union and the company. So I was like, okay, that's more drama that is now going on. It's just frustrating. It's just every day. Every week it's something. They have been laying off drivers every week. And I just don't know. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand it. I don't understand the thought process, because from my past experience, I ran a retail store for years. It was very successful. I have been privy to, mid-level corporate conversations. Obviously not high level, but mid-level corporate conversations. And I just don't understand why. Okay, the economy sucks, volume is down, it's slow. Why not just figure out the number of drivers that you want to cut? You're cutting costs. So figure out the number of drivers you want to cut and just cut straight to that number. Why are you doing this weekly? And you're making everyone's life difficult. You're making your warehouse manager's life difficult. You're making your employees' life difficult. Just whatever the number that you need to get to, just make those cuts and move forward. Like, I don't understand. All right, we're about to do our first move of the day. And don't make fun of me if it's bad. It's my first one. I gotta warm up. So I just really wish they would do that, but I've learned that that's just not the way. It's not the way things work here. So this week I'm currently scheduled to work 2 days. They scheduled me off Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I'm only working Monday and Friday, which is against the contract, by the way. So, all right, whatever. Now, the union wants us to still show up because, once again, it's in the contract. So I have guarantees. I'm guaranteed 8 hours a day, and I'm guaranteed to work, the 5 days. I'm a full-time employee. So you can't just randomly cut me down to a part-time employee. You can't just do that. So the union wants us to show up this week. Still to work. If there's any problems, contact the union. Which is fine. That's what the union is for. Shout out to the union. I appreciate the union. And I appreciate UPS as well, too. But it's just, like, why do we have to go through this? If you have to make cost-cutting moves, just make the cost-cutting moves and just follow the contract. This is the contract that the union and UPS agreed to. So just, do what you have to do. So, yeah, that's the update on that. I am only working 2 days this week, and then this is going to be my last week here. Starting next week, I should be at my new facility. How long will I be there? I'm not sure. So there's still a lot of confusion going on. There's still cost-cutting things that are happening with the company. The union is fighting. The union, I get it. The union's a business, and they're in the business of protecting their employees, but they're also in the business of being sustainable and making money as well, too. So the unfortunate part of the situation is, as an employee, you don't know what to do, and you can't make moves that you need to move so you can still feed your family. Just randomly on a Thursday sending me a message telling me I'm only working 2 days this week, that hurts me financially. So like, what am I supposed to do? So, but I'm just blessed to have a job. I'm blessed that not working those 3 days is not gonna do any major harm to me financially, and that's a blessing. But there's people that just can't, they can't do that. And now you want them to confront the company. The union wants them to confront the company by still showing up to work, because that's the contract and agreement that we all have. I don't see anything wrong with that, but a lot of people don't want that, they don't want that confrontation like that. So it's just a very difficult situation, and you're uneasy, so we'll see how it all works out.